Okay, welcome to video number 4 in our cost segregation video series. In this video, we want to cover cost segregation methodologies and the importance of understanding them. The first thing I want to point out is that this is from the Internal Revenue Service's Cost Segregation Audit Techniques Guide, which I showed you in a previous video. But basically, it just says an accurate cost segregation study cannot be based on contemporaneous records, reconstructed data, taxpayers' estimates or assumptions. It has to have supporting records. And that's really the crux of the way we approach our studies is a lot of supporting documentation. We have to support the decisions that we make in terms of what items are going to be reclassified and why. So really there are two methodologies. The first methodology is called residual based cost segregation studies, and the bottom line is you'll see this is more about partial coverage. It's about cherry picking the obvious items that can be reclassified. There's not as much substantiation, not as many details. You're potentially leaving money on the table because you're not reclassifying everything that can be reclassified, and why not? And again, less detail means less defensible. Clearly, the key is following the IRS's guidelines, and they do define 13 key points or elements that need to go into a quality study, and a residual study normally is not going to cover all of those. And so an engineering-based study, which is what we do, it's really a bottom-up type approach instead of a top-down approach. It's very thorough and comprehensive. It's going to cover every component that can be reclassified. And there's certainly going to be all the details that make a study defensible. We record everything, audio. We take notes. We put it all on DVD and CD and make sure it's available. So again, we can justify the decisions that we make. Of course, there's got to be an on-site inspection, non-intrusive, but it needs to be there so we can kind of have perspective on the building, and again, record everything we find and the decisions that we make, and have some, make sure they're substantiated, and of course make sure that we're compliant, with the IRS Audit Techniques Guide. I mean, it's absolutely imperative that we follow that closely. Okay, so again, this is our way. And so moving on, just to kind of give you some more graphics to kind of look at the difference between residual based and engineering based. It's kind of like a security system that you cover the two main doors, maybe two windows that most people would probably break into or want to use to get in, versus really covering everything and taking the not taking the risk. And so that's the best example we can give you. And so the way we look at this, again, what we're doing here is more about a business decision. It's certainly not a sales pitch. This is a process. We want you to be educated and serviced in this area and provide you with the best information you can to make a good business decision. And so we try to balance benefits, cost, and risk in everything that we do in working with each circumstance. And here are just a few different ways of looking at this triangle: increased benefits, decreased cost, increased risk. So again, if you take shortcuts, you can increase your risk. Increased benefits, decreased risk. Again, in that case, you're going to have more cost up front, but you're going to have lots of benefits and lower risk, and that's and again, it's all about ROI, and we'll get into that shortly. But it's about a business decision. And so, and of course, decreased cost, decreased risk, you're not going to see many benefits from that. So really the middle one is kind of where we fall, but we're willing to blend all these things to kind of find something that works for your circumstance. But it really comes down to a very black and white business decision and the economics of the situation. Okay, in our next video, we're going to talk about how these benefits can be realized. So I look forward to covering that with you. I'll see you on the other side.